Crafters, it's Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make the Gatefold card that everyone was interested in having a tutorial for. So if you saw the picture that was posted right before I started talking here, you'll know what card I'm talking about because I already mailed it to the recipient, so I can't show you now. All you're going to need is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I'm just using white. You can use a colored base if you like. And we're going to cut it the long way, the 11-inch way, at 4 1/4, just like you would if you were cutting 2 card bases. Okay, and one of the card bases we're going to turn on its side and we're going to score it at 5 1/2, like we normally would for a regular card base. So I am going to use my bone folder here. Well, if I can locate it. I moved it again. I'm always moving things. Okay, so we're going to score that. And we're going to fold this in half. Oh, this one is kind of off. The big scoreboard that I use doesn't quite fit in here, so that's why I opted to use this one. It's not my favorite. But anyway, I'm just going to make sure my corners match up. Give it a press to make sure it's in half. So you have a regular A2 size card that opens up this way. And then with the second half of piece of paper, right here, we're going to make the gatefold card. So we're going to put it in the long way, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4 inches on both sides. So 2 3/4, give it a score. Flip it around and do the other side at 2 3/4. And I hope this is accurate. It's not as accurate as my other one, but go ahead and score those two sides. They should come together at the middle and make the gatefold. Okay, just like that. And then what I did was I used the bottom regular A2 side card like that, and then the gatefold, instead of opening this way, it's going to go on top like this. So we're just going to add adhesive to the back. And you don't have to adhere it all together if you want to do some, a lot of decorating, but I did a bunch of parts already ahead of time just to make this go faster. So I won't be decorating the card in its entirety, but I'll be decorating some of it to show you. So again, here's the regular A2 size card that folds up that way. And then this gatefold one that opens up top and bottom, we're going to put right on the top of this other card. Try to line up the best you can. You can always cut off edges if they're hanging off or whatnot. But now we've got one that opens up like this, and then when you lift it, you have another card inside, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these parts that I've already made. I'm doing kind of a seascape scene. And I'm going to put the bubbles on the inside. And I've got a couple of images that I've already colored up, so we'll add those as well. So like I said, you could add paper to this side, you could add paper all over the place. But I'm going to put the bubbles on the inside there. Then I'm going to add some panels of color here. If you follow my This Into That series, you'll probably see this paper again. That will be my next one. It's one of my absolute favorite techniques ever, and it's not new. Most of the techniques that I do are not new. They're just unique, and I like them, and I love sharing that. So put that one on there. And now the reason why I wanted to do a little bit of decorating with you is because I want to show you how I put those little tiny magnets in. Okay, so I used these last time. I'm going to use these again. One's going to go on the inside of this flap here, so that when it closes it shows up on this side. And I'm just going to decide where I want it. And then the one on the outside is going to match up with that. and go on the outside like that. Or, well, I don't really want this one to show, so I might just put them both together on the inside. What I'm doing is I'm layering these so that I have a place to put my magnet in the in-between right here, so that it hides it so you don't see it. And also, another reason why I'm layering these is because the more you layer, the thicker this becomes and the more sturdy it becomes, so that when you're using it as an opener like that, you can open and close it and it's not going to bend in half and get ruined. So that's the point of it. And I've got 4 of them, so I'll probably use all 4. I'll probably do 2 and 2. So for that, all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue. You're going to want to make sure you get it on the edges of whatever shape you're using, because you can use any kind of shape. I just happen to have these shapes, so this is my first one. Again, this one's going to go on the inside of that flap there, about wherever I want it to go. Okay, glue that side down. And I'm probably going to cut this one off because I don't want it showing. But I'm going to line that up the best I can. And put that on the top of there to make that sturdier. You can always take this, you can always put this on second and bury that underneath too. I wonder if I can get that back off without wrecking it. I think I can. Yeah, we'll put that one on last. So then I'll just add some glue to this and glue that down. So however you want to do it. Okay, but before I put on another layer to make that thicker, I want to hide this little magnet. They're so hard to get apart. I don't want to have to hunt for that now, so I'm just going to get another one. I'll find them later. Okay. And when I put these on, I use E6000. I know people say that it's got cancer-causing properties and all that stuff, but the little bit of amount that I use and that it's open, I don't worry about that too much. So I'm going to put this little guy right in there. Okay, and then put a tiny bit of, now remember we've got 2 layers there, so I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 on the top of that. Oh, it's really leaking out. And then put the glue on this one. So much different when you're crafting than when you're crafting on camera. Okay, I'm going to put these 2 together before I put them on the top of that one. E6000 takes a bit to dry, so I'm not too worried about how that'll turn out. I don't want that glue to show. Try not to over glue it because you really don't want that to show. But then on this side, put some more glue. I'm just using Aleene's regular tacky glue. You can use whatever you want. Okay, and then I'm going to put that over the top of this one. I should probably, yeah, I zoomed in. Because you want to line it up. But then once you get, you want to press right here to get a good adherence with that magnet, and then take these other pieces and push them down so that they glue together as well. And then make sure your bottom goes down too. So then what you end up with, you're always going to have a little gap here somewhere because that little magnet's in there, but you won't notice it. So I'm just squeezing it together to make sure that all of the parts that the magnet's not on are touching and getting a good adherence, a good stick together. Okay? And then since I'm only going to do one of these, my other card had 2, I can go ahead and put this back on. And hopefully it won't give me too much trouble. Okay, the next step is that we need another magnet underneath here. So I'm going to pull off another magnet. And I'm going to make sure that I put it on the right way so that they connect together. So I'm going to put this one down. See how it picked it up? I'll do that again. I'm going to put it down and then let it pick it up. And that way I know that it's going to be that side. Okay, let me turn this around. Alright, now I know it's going to be on that side, and that's the piece that I want to go down. So I'm going to pull out my E6000 again, and I'm going to put that one down. Let's put a little bit of glue on that magnet. And I've got the card upside down because I wanted to show you what I was doing. And then push it down. And let that E6000 grab. You're going to want to let that dry for a bit. And there's our magnet right there, and I'm letting that dry. And while I'm letting it dry, I want to put this little turtle guy over the top of this because I don't want this part to show. So I'm going to put this piece of paper over the top and put my little turtle on there so it looks like he's swimming through the ocean. And I want some little circles that go underneath this to cover up that magnet so we don't see that. Okay, but they're not going to be seen because this is going to be over the top of it. I'm going to make the circle smaller. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to do 2 of them to make it a little bit more sturdy. And then all I'm going to do is, like I did with this part, I'm just going to glue them together. That's Liney. He's always hungry. Meow meow. Okay. And then this little round guy is going to go on the top of that magnet. So I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 because I really don't want that coming off. And the other thing that does for you too is makes those magnets, when you've got paper in between, makes those magnets not quite as strong so that when you want to open the card you can. So while those are drying, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the rest of what I want on here. I need one more of this size. So I'm going to get my punch. I'm just going to go ahead and use this big guy. And I want one that's exactly the same size as this one. And that might not be it. Let's see what we get out of this one. As long as it's close enough. You won't see it. Not quite the same. That's okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lighter one on the bottom. Too impatient to wait for that to dry. You will wait for yours to dry though, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. Okay, and then a little bit of glue on this one. And that's where we're going to put the bottom one. This one was bigger and that one was a little bit darker, so we're going to put this one on this side. And I'm just lining up where I want that to go. Right there. And then this one is going to go on the top of this one. I suppose at this point this is kind of as clear as mud, isn't it? I'm just going to make sure that that's where I want it so that they line up, and then I'm just going to leave all of this down to dry. And I'm going to put my turtle on the top. I was going to pop him up. Whoops. I was going to pop him up, but this has already popped up quite a bit with everything that we've got on there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the center of his body and just put him right on there. Okay, and then I've got a little bit more that I want to add to the inside, but I'm really going to give this time to dry now. Okay, now that that is dry, you can lift up the little turtle and open up your card. And on the inside, I'm going to put this little shark. I'm going to put him kind of towards the top with a little bit of glue. I'm not going to put glue all over him because I want parts of him to kind of come up off the paper. Like his fins won't be adhered totally down. So his fins will pop up slightly in his nose and his dorsal fin, and I'll make it look a little more dimensional. Then I'm going to get this really fun tool that I have that Rosa gave me. Hi, Rosa! And this little pin comes out of this tiny little hole. And the adhesive comes out the end of this. Because I want to put this on and it's really, really dainty. So you see how that little bit of glue comes out of that hole? I'm not sure how well the camera is picking that up, but it is amazing and it's so helpful. You might be able to make a straighter line than me. Some of the medication I'm on, when I try to do stuff that's really, really tiny like this, I get a little tremor in my hand. So it makes it really hard for me to stay on the lines. But it works. I just keep moving it back over until I hit the right line. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to put this kind of at the bottom here. Then I always remember to put that little pin right back in there, and then I store it upside down. Okay, so that's the inside. Again, you'll probably end up putting some paper over the top of this to hide that, some paper over the top here if you want, and then this shuts, and then of course you still have that whole inside here to decorate. But I really hope that this tutorial helped you. It's just a one piece of cardstock and really simple measurements, and then it's all about the decoration. So have fun making it, and I'll see you guys next video.